Now, from your weather authority, Chief Meteorologist Wayne Hart with your forecast first.
Now the clouds are finally beginning to break up on the fringes of the tri-state. This clearing trend will continue overnight, allowing temperatures to dip into the low to mid 20s by daybreak on Wednesday, which will be a brighter and warmer day. By lunchtime, we'll be into the mid 30s with afternoon highs back to normal in the lower 40s. Even warmer on Thursday, but we'll have to deal with a little rain and then a bigger system later in the weekend. I'll have the details next on Eyewitness News at 9.
Winner of the Associated Press Outstanding News Operation Award. This is Eyewitness News at 9.
And welcome. Angry neighbors storm out of the Webster County Courthouse tonight after an apartment complex gets approval to move forward. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brad Bird.
And I'm Kayla Moody. It's happening just outside Seabury, Kentucky, where people are upset at what and who may be moving in next door. The Webster County Industrial Development Authority reaffirms their agreement to a developer for 18 acres of land along Highway 41 near Seabury. Back in July, there were plans to build within the city limits, but those plans were scrapped. The Development Authority originally met and approved the sale in October, but failed to adhere to the Kentucky Open Meetings Act. Tonight they meet again, this time with public outcry to officially authorize the sale. Neighbors are upset, claiming the apartment complex will attract migrant workers.
The Burmese refugees, that is what's proposed to come and be in these apartments. They have a lot of medical issues.
Where all these children and stuff is going to go to school there in Seabury? The school's not big enough.
IDA Chairman Steve Witzel and other board members refused to speak after the meeting in detail, only saying Seabury needs more housing.
Major political figures travel to the tri-state today to pay their respects for former Kentucky Senator Wendell Ford. Senator Ford passed away last Thursday. He was 90. Funeral services were held today in Owensboro. Among those in attendance, former President Bill Clinton and Vice President Joe Biden. Clinton arrived in Owensboro sometime last night. Biden here flew into Evansville Tri-State Aero this morning. You can see him getting out of the Air Force Two, stepping into the limo and the motorcade heading towards Owensboro.
Along with national political leaders, those on the state level joined the family mourning the senator. More than 100 people paid respects and said goodbye to Ford during the nearly 1.5-hour-long service. Vice President Biden said Ford was Kentucky and a man who changed and influenced a lot of lives. Former President Clinton said Ford was instrumental in getting parts of his agenda passed while in office.
I believe he will be remembered of being a leader, like they were saying, a compromiser, being able to reach across party aisles.
He would speak his mind. He could speak to kings, and he could speak to the common man on the street. And he just had such a touch with people and such a way with people.
Ford is also remembered as a friend of many types of people, from presidents to coal miners. Some chose to continue with the family to Rose Hill Elmwood Cemetery, where Senator Ford was laid to rest. A small procession made its way to the cemetery, greeted by a large garrison flag, courtesy of the Owensboro Fire Department. Once the family was at the burial site, they were flanked by the Honor Guard. The Honor Guard also played taps at the service. It was a small, intimate affair with Ford's closest friends and family.
Senator Ford's favorite restaurant, Moonlight Barbecue in Owensboro, catered the reception following his funeral today. His family requested all of his favorites, especially barbecued ham and biscuits. The family was unsure as to how many people would be there, so Moonlight kept it light with finger food. Now, this included turkey roll-ups, ham and biscuits, cherry and pecan tarts, and many other desserts. The owner of Moonlight Barbecue, Ken Bosley, says Ford was always friendly.
Ford was always a people person. He treated everybody the same. He responded. He had a really good staff that would respond to problems, and individuals had a problem they could call.
Moonlight only used 2 servers to cater today's event. Bosley says those 2 employees catered most of Senator Ford's recent events. And as we mentioned earlier, former President Bill Clinton arrived sometime last night in Owensboro. Eyewitness News, however, was able to catch his motorcade traveling to Owensboro Regional Airport and him departing in his plane.
The burial of the late senator was undoubtedly a somber occasion, but afterwards the vice president gave a group of kids the surprise of a lifetime. What happened would probably put a smile on Wendell Ford's face. A special moment caught on camera. Students lining State Road 66 outside Luce Elementary School when Vice President Joe Biden's motorcade makes an impromptu visit. As he pulls into the school, unfiltered excitement.
They're turning in! Guys!
Seeing the motorcade was already an exciting experience for the pint-sized Spencer County School, but meeting the Vice President, the surprise of a lifetime.
I just wanted to stop by. I'm Vice President Joe Biden. I worked with President Obama, and I was over in Kentucky, and they told me you guys were going to be outside the school here, and I just wanted to say hi and tell you how nice it was for you to stop and wave and say hi to me.
But just very personable to the kiddos, and just act like he did meet a stranger, shaking the kids' hands, talking to them. I mean, a wonderful experience for our kids.
What's your name? Come here. Come here. What grade are you in? 5th grade. Okay. What are the grades?
Kindergarten through 5th.
Kindergarten through 5th. Well, you're an old timer.
The kids didn't have all the fun. Biden, whose wife is an educator, asked to see the principal. Lori Herman proudly stepped forward.
Where's your principal? Come here.
I can't put it in words. I'm just still so excited to think the kids had such an awesome opportunity to be able to meet the Vice President of the United States, and for him to take time to stop and see our kiddos. What a neat experience that they'll have for the rest of their life. So I'm still just beside myself. Goosebumps.
So sweet to hear all those little ones squealing with excitement. Big thanks to Christy Snyder for sending us that great cell phone video.
People in some northeastern states tonight still under a blizzard warning, but in New York and New Jersey, where snowfall fell a little bit short of predictions, things are starting to get back to normal. Jan Pomerantz has the latest.
As the blizzard of 2015 continues to wreak havoc on much of the Northeast, it seems to have spared New York City from the worst. Many are now criticizing city leaders for what they call overkill. The mayor's response, better safe than sorry.
God forbid this storm had not moved, what was ultimately 20, 30 miles to the east in our case. We would have then been hit by that incredible magnitude of storm. And had people not been off the roads, there would have been a lot of people in danger, and probably some people would have lost their lives. We can't take that risk.
But snow is still coming down in Connecticut and other parts of New England. In Massachusetts, residents are digging out from the snow and also being forced to deal with flooding after a partial collapse of a seawall.
Still very much in the middle of this storm here in the city of Boston, and safety concerns remain a very serious concern of all of ours. It's not easy to stay ahead of a storm this size, but we've been able to use all the city resources and the workers to try and do the best we can.
School is canceled in many cities and towns, but that doesn't necessarily mean a day off for students.
This is really my only first time shoveling because I never like to do it. I'd rather be in bed.
But for millions, the shoveling is just getting started. In New York, I'm Jan Pomerantz reporting.
Well, it's been a lot more quiet here in the tri-state after we saw a little bit of snow yesterday.
Chief Meteorologist Wayne Hart is here to tell us when we could see some rain.
Well, Kayla and Brad, it's going to be a little bit of rain moving into the area on Thursday, but it won't be a big deal, though it will be warmer, certainly warmer than today. Our highs only made it into the mid-30s here in the metro, low 30s to the northeast and upper 30s across western Kentucky. Now, there's some really warm air not too far away. Branson, Missouri today hit 63. Now, we're not going to get that warm, but we will be warming into the 40s here for the next few days. The clouds finally in the process of breaking up, at least on the fringes of the tri-state right now, and that bodes well for tomorrow, which should feature more sun than clouds. Temperatures will be warming up to more normal levels in the low to mid 40s across southern Illinois, forecasting 44 in Fairfield and Carmi, about 43 for the high here in Evansville. That's very close to the average high of 42. A bit colder again up to the northeast. Jasper will check in at 41, and it looks like mid 40s as you head south across western Kentucky with a good deal of sunshine. Now, not much sunshine on Thursday as we deal with a relatively weak system that will bring with it a little bit of rain. We have a much bigger system to deal with on Saturday night and especially Sunday. I'll have all the details on how that may affect your weekend plans in my full forecast later in the news.
Evansville police are investigating a burglary at a downtown business. Officers responded to an alarm at Goldman's pawn shop around 4:30 this morning. The front window had been busted out, setting off the alarm. Store officials say 7 handguns were taken during the burglary. Anyone with information is asked to call EPD or the anonymous We Tip hotline.
An Evansville home is closed for several hours and 11 homes evacuated after a car hits a natural gas line. The 5,000 block area of Stringtown Road on the near north side was closed due to the gas leak. Areas between Mill Street and Campground had to be evacuated. Eyewitness News' Joe Bird spoke to the driver who hit the gas line. She says she is thankful because the situation could have turned worse.
I didn't have no other choice but to get out the car. I mean, I didn't want it to blow up or anything.
A close call for Eva Stinson. She says another driver cut her off while trying to pass, causing her to veer off the road and hit a high-pressure natural gas transmission line.
I tried to stop my car, but it would not stop because I guess the roads are slick, and then plus the grass, when I got in the grass part, it turned 2 times and then it hit on the driver's side.
The line is about a mile away from Stringtown Elementary. While 11 homes were evacuated, students were not.
We've decided to protect the students in place instead of getting them out in the weather, and it's far enough where they should not be in any type of danger at all.
Stinson says when she smelled gas, she ran, leaving her car running. A smart decision, according to investigator Richard Howard.
It would be too dangerous because even the turning of the switch would produce an arc or a spark, which would ignite the gas.
Stinson says despite a sore back, she feels blessed to be able to walk away from the wreck and hopes the driver of the other car is caught.
I think he's a horrible person because he didn't stop and see if I was okay.
A representative from Vectren says the gas line will be fixed by tonight and that no customers should be affected by the leak. For natural gas safety tips, visit tristatehomepage.com. That's our Eyewitness News website, and click on this story. Muhlenberg County School Board approves the proposed utility tax, but it could be decided in a special election. Board members approved it by a 3-2 vote. School officials say the 3% tax, which takes effect for next school year, would help restore some teachers' pay that was cut by 10% this month. The Muhlenberg County Clerk's Office says a recall effort on the tax has started. Officials say nearly 1,300 signatures are needed to put it on a special ballot, which could be held later this year.
Officials at French Lick Resort confirm a possible breach of their credit card payment system. The issue was first detected 2 weeks ago. French Lick officials say it appears malware got into the payment system. This affects all credit and debit card users from April 23rd of last year to January 21st this year. The resort is offering a year of free identity protection to anyone affected by the breach. Guests with potentially compromised cards can call the resort for what to do next. Vandenberg Humane Society suspends all cat surrenders and adoptions due to a contagious feline illness. VHS says it's to protect their current cat population and keep the disease from spreading outside the facility. According to its website, VHS plans to start taking cat surrender appointments and adopting out cats once again on February 17th. But that date is subject to change. VHS is still taking in and adopting out dogs and small animals at this time.
And Indiana City could be tracking down dog owners who do not pick up after their pet. City officials in Carmel, that's just north of Indianapolis, are hiring a company that could track down owners who don't pick up their dog's waste at city parks. The company, called Poo Prints, would take samples of dog droppings, send them off for DNA testing. Cotton swabs would be used to extract DNA from dogs' mouths, and the data would be entered into the company's worldwide registry. Now, park officials are interested for aesthetic and health reasons, but have not decided how this program could be implemented.
There's been people who think that that's going to raise taxes or it's a waste of taxpayer money, but it's really not, because there's a cost to picking up dog poop around all the different parks and public areas.
Officials say the company could help save maintenance crews hours of cleanup. That's going to take us to your turn now on my Facebook page tonight. Getting fined for simply not picking up your dog's waste. That's a little more expensive than those easy-to-use waste bags you see right here that you can pick up in almost any store. What do you think about this idea in Carmel, Indiana, though? has it come to this? Collecting DNA? Seriously? Do we have to turn a simple walk with our dogs into CSI operations, or just show some common courtesy and pick up your dog's waste? Like us on Facebook, see what people are saying, and thanks for your feedback. And after the break, Chief Meteorologist Wayne Hart joins us. And you know, it's hard to believe, but Carmel, Indiana is actually looking at this possibility.
Yeah, but I guess everybody has to opt in to get your dog registered.
Then you can get it registered and the swab taken and what have you, but just some common sense and
absolutely.
Seems a little extravagant.
Exactly. The weather could get a little extravagant later in the weekend, but until then, it's going to be fairly quiet. Today was a little cold, but no snow to worry about. 32 the low, 36 the high. We will get warmer than that over the next few days. I'll have the details next when Eyewitness News at 9 continues.